He's got an attitude tonight.
Good evening and welcome to the latest edition of Living Cruddy with Cruddy Joe. I am, in fact, Cruddy Joe, and I'm here tonight with the wind beneath my wings, handsome Gene Coffinberry, and I'm here with Jimmy Squared, handsome Jimmy Hansen, and handsome Jimmy Psycho. The latter being our very special guest tonight. Thank you for dropping by, sir.
I guess the pressure's on as a special guest. Holy crap! I should have rehearsed something. How long you guys been doing this now?
This would be number 7.
Oh wow, okay. The movie part has been running for quite some time, right?
Oh yeah, Joe's movie has been going for well over a year.
We have a half a dozen magic elves we keep in a hollow tree. We'll pick out the movies we show every week.
And they make cookies.
I did meet Jimmy through Grindr once.
It's inspirational.
Jimmy is the guy who has invented a bunch of popular bands, Psycho Charger, Jimmy Psycho Experiment, the Sithfits, a whole bunch of things that go on from coast to coast, and he's been doing it for a long, long time. I met Jimmy back in Florida back in
1892.
I was trying to do the math. That's like a quarter of a century ago. Easy.
I've been here close to 20 years. You were in New York City a year before that.
Yeah. So yeah, we're talking like mid-90s easy.
You were based out of what, Miami?
Yeah, I was down in Miami Beach. You know, the scene kind of finds all these bands, you know, and we all kind of found each other, and we were like playing a regular string of gigs together. Yeah. Even if it was like Tuesday night, we've all been there though.
And then, you know, we stayed in touch after you had moved to New York, and I was packing up to come here, and we had talked about this with Dr. Gangrene, but literally the very first week that I lived here, I caught Psycho Charger on Dr. Gangrene's TV show on a Thursday night.
Well, you know, it's funny. I was down there in Nashville just passing through and just hanging out, and I was in the hotel room late at night, and there's Dr. Gangrene who was interviewing Dr. Creep, who was like growing up in Dayton, Ohio. He was like my horror host guy. So I was like, holy cow, well, this guy must have it going on. He's talking to Dr. Creep. So I actually reached out to him and said, hey, man, I saw you were out there talking to Dr. Creep. So he and I started a dialogue.
Then he runs into a little bit of a situation where his advertising dried up. We came up with the idea to do the first horror hootenanny, and we invited you guys to come to Nashville from New York, and that was Horror Hootenanny 1, and you guys did some crazy shit to arrive there.
There's so many wacky hijinks. I'm trying to narrow this down. Yeah, okay. That's it. We rented a car, and that was like back in the day when it was just MapQuest, and everything was like, you know, maybe off by a good couple hours, but it took us like 15 hours to drive there. I remember we rolled in like an hour before we were supposed to play. We bookended that show with a Sunday night. Instead of just driving back home, we had to book a Sunday night alternative rock night show in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
And this was during the period, like, to me, the classic Psycho Charger lineup.
Yeah, that was the lineup with like my longtime friend, the diabolical Dr. K, whose showmanship is always off the hook great. And I think Maniac Mike was playing the drums with us at that point.
The guy that was the school teacher.
Yeah, and because of his job, he had to keep his shenanigans with Psycho Charger like top secrets. He had to sign some kind of weird morality agreement with his school district that he wouldn't be walking around in underwear and in public or something like that.
Mr. Furley has arrived.
Yeah.
He shows up once a week. I'm drinking bourbon tonight, fellas.
So is yours the video, Jimmy, where you're all playing like in the snow in your underwear?
Yeah, that was us. That was like one of the things with Psycho Charger. When we first started the band, you know, we thought about how we would, we're going to play naked. Because that was when all the bands had like a thing where they all looked alike, you know, they all wore like matching bowling shirts or whatever. But then we realized that 3 middle-aged guys wearing tighty-whitey underwear was a lot funnier. So
it'll get you some attention.
The governor just said, you know, everybody has to wear a mask.
You should be able to get an exemption because I got one here because I'm so pretty.
We're going to do Mr. Furley all night here, Joe?
Yeah.
I'll take them off. But you see, I had just the opposite. Before the pandemic, they insisted I wear a mask. And here I am. You asked for it. That's what you wanted.
All right, so Psycho Charger shows up at the very first Horror Hootenanny. That was kind of the beginning of a run where you guys played several shows in a row.
Yeah, we're there for every year. It was like something we would mark off on our calendar.
So one of the next years you guys come back, it would have been Chris and Charlie, or maybe Chris wasn't even there.
I think Charlie, who played in the band in Florida, he made it out to a couple of those shows. I know you probably played bass with us a couple times, right?
Yeah, I played bass a couple times. For a while, we were doing a day before the Horror Hootenanny, we'd play something in Atlanta. Very specifically, one of those times, we did the Horror Hootenanny on a Friday, and then Saturday, you agreed to take Psycho Charger over to Jackson, Tennessee to play some fucking podunk show out at this place called Splats.
Splats, that's it. Yeah, Splats.
We pull up, it's an old gas station, and at the front door, it was a chair, but it was the back seat of a station wagon. It was a little square room with a drain in the middle of the floor, a mattress, then there was a light bulb hanging on a string.
Yeah.
You know
It was like a concrete floor with like the drain. It looked like a serial killer home or something like that because they had like all the single light bulb, and the only fixture in the room was like the hot water heater.
Wow, that sounds like rock and roll.
It really was one of those Final Tap moments. That night itself, though, a pretty crazy night because we made the trip to Jackson, and then we really quickly realized that okay, this gig definitely sounded a lot better on paper. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the kid that booked it, his name was Meatball.
His name was Paul.
Paul.
And he called us, and you answered the phone, and you were like, "Who's this?" And he said, "Oh, it's me, Paul." You thought he said Meatball.
I thought he said Meatball.
So he became Meatball for the rest of the tour.
Yeah. I love people. Don't get me wrong, but the people that were putting this place together, I mean, literally, it wasn't even a club. It was just like a shell of a building, and there was a guy. I'm not making this up. It really was like bib overalls, and he had like these like snaggly looking teeth. And I asked somebody what his name was, and they said we call him Nosferatu. So I remember we're like, well, who else come to this? Well, we got on the phone. We're gonna have them bring out a couple kegs out here, and I was just like, I don't know, you guys. I don't know what we're gonna do.
They asked us to buy the keg. These guys are underage. We're going to go to jail in Jackson, Tennessee over this shit.
Yeah. What is this, Porky's?
Exactly.
And I swear I never bailed on a gig ever, but we came back and it was just a mess. We just kind of did a big drive around, and I just remember us looking in the rearview mirror, and here's Meatball chasing us. Guys! Trust me, I felt really bad. We make it back to Nashville, and it's like, well, what do you want to do? Hey, 30 Days of Nights is showing at 11:30. Gino's getting gas the rental vehicle, right? And he locks the keys in the rental vehicle, so we had to call AAA. And then we finally get everything situated, and we're headed down I-65. All of a sudden, we see a minivan in front of us going. All of a sudden, the thing fucking flips 3 times, tumbling down the interstate, and there's no movement inside. Traffic is like still doing like 80 miles an hour around us. I go, well, let's just go see what happened. I just heard this little voice inside this van, and it's like some high school girl coming back from like homecoming or something, who she came walking out of it and was like, hey. Oh, yeah. And I just remember just collecting her CDs off the interstate.
Yeah, and I remember looking down on the ground, and I picked up a CD, and the CD said Booty Jam 6. And it turned out it was one of her CDs that flew out the window when she was spiraling out of control in her drunken stage.
We never went and saw 30 Days of Night.
We were like, fuck this. If we stay on the road, we're definitely going to die.
I just got to say, though, every year we always look forward to coming down to Nashville and playing the Horror Hoot. And the people were always really awesome. And you just kind of start running into the same people at every show. So it's kind of like catching up with old friends, like definitely like you guys in the Crudds, but then like your friends became our friends. And it was really a great occasion every year.
There's probably a couple dozen people here who are intimately familiar with Psychocharger because of those shows, and they know to come out. And when you guys still come back to do either as Sithfits or Psychocharger, it's the same people. They were little kids, and now they're adults.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it was always like early October, so the weather was perfect.
Yeah, we always knew it was going to be a good time. And, I remember that like there was always like haunted attractions would be opening up. So I think we went to a couple of Slaughterhouse. Yeah.
And I think, we took Forbidden Dimension to the other one, Nashville, whatever the one is. So it's like a routine with bands to come to town.
Well, and Virginia was able to make it through a haunted house.
She was fucking mortified. She was holding on to whoever was in front of, like, with her eyes closed.
Yeah, then the other joy of going down to Nashville was living in New York City at that time. We did not have Krispy Kreme donuts.
Oh, so you're like, stop the car! I'm serious.
Krispy Kreme donuts. Yeah.
Wait, where are you from originally? Let's ask.
Yeah, Dayton. I was born and raised in the Dayton, Ohio area. Yeah.
Yeah, my ex-wife father described Dayton as Satan's final step before he descended into hell.
Well, growing up, it was definitely happening. It was going on. Like there's like a really great punk band from this area called the Toxic Reasons. We're doing shows, but the thing was, all this stuff is going on, but you're too young to go to it. Yeah, there's like punk going on here. Dayton, Ohio is actually considered to be the home of funk music, and I think they're trying to open a funk museum in Dayton.
You ever run into Dave Chappelle?
I see him maybe 3 or 4 times a week as I'm driving through Yellow Springs. He told me that he lives in Jamestown, which is like outside of where I live. Seriously, he lives like this old country road. He'll stop and chat to anybody. He doesn't want anybody to take any pictures or anything like that, but yeah, he'll stop and chat to whoever recognizes him, though.
You're the same way, aren't you? You talk to anybody, but no pictures.
What about the Deadbeat by Dawn guy? You know him?
Jim Van Beber. I was in a band called Indian Rope Burn. The guy that had the band, that started the band, tracked him down, and Jim Van Beber made our music video.
Really?
And, he did like a really great movie called The Manson Family. But yeah, I still check in with him every once in a while. But yeah, he's a Dayton guy. Yeah. Deadbeat by Dawn. Yeah, that just showed on Joe Bob Briggs' show.
Oh, does Joe Bob have a show?
Those guys bust on Joe Bob.
No, we bust on you.
Well, it's your turn, fucker.
Are we allowed to talk about Star Wars?
Absolutely.
But, Jimmy, you agree with me that Gino's fixation on Star Trek is weird, right?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Say that the hallmark of a true Star Wars fan is that you can somehow rationalize this horrible shit that Lucas shoved in everywhere. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah.
Well, I get it. That you take Jar Jar Binks out of that movie. There's not a whole lot of movie there with that either.
Now, bear with me here. The Star Wars prequels were actually summed up to me when I went and saw in the theater Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I guess it was. The movie opens and there's this immediately a CGI like gopher or some shit pops its head out of the ground. And this guy behind me screams, "Fuck you, George Lucas!" I was like, yep, that about sums it up. Well, you know, James claims to be a Star Wars fan. He claims Empire is his favorite, but then he doesn't know where Empire falls into the chronological.
I named the wrong number. God forbid anyone makes a mistake on this podcast. Empire Strikes Back is a nearly perfect film, not just because it's nearly perfect, but because it came out when I was like, 12 years old, I think?
Yeah.
And it hit me just right in the right.
Well, I saw the first movie when it came out, and I saw Empire Strikes Back, and then I saw the one after that with the Muppets, and and to this day, I have not seen any of the new shit.
Get the Disney app and check out the Mandalorian, because it's pretty badass. It's like Star Wars meets a spaghetti western.
So hold on, now let's go back. So we can all agree the first one is a substantial film, and we dig it. Yeah. Was it a Cold War metaphor or a western disguised as a space movie? Which one was it?
It was closer to a western for me.
Yeah, I feel like it was closer to western because at that age, I didn't really know much about the Cold War, you know?
Right. All right, last question then. Midi-chlorians, worst idea in Star Wars or worst idea in any universe?
You know, there's no easy way out of that. They brought that crap up. I'm like,
maybe my force detector will tell me.
Yeah, no. Midi-chlorians, no. Don't get me wrong, I like Trek. Watched Star Trek before I saw Star Wars, so I have a very fond...
I'm more Hasselhoff in Star Trek.
Star Search.
Star Search, right. Eric Estrada.
Anson Williams.
Just so it's clear, Gene, the second most important was The Wrath of Khan with Ricardo Montalban.
That was a brilliant movie, though. Anson Mount.
Anson Hansen.
What I do is I read off a lyric from a song, identify the song, the next line in the song, and who does the song. The verse is, I don't know about yourself or what you want to be, yeah, we gamble with our time.
We choose our destiny.
Oh! Who is it?
I'm drawing a blank.
Nobody ever gets the next line.
Yeah, you got the hard part. All you got to do is tell me the band and the song.
Motorhead?
No. Put a big X on the screen.
Menudo.
I don't know about yourself or what you want to be. Yeah, we gamble with our time. We choose our destiny. Molly Hatchet flirting with disaster.
Damn it! I should have known that. Yeah, okay. Damn.
Look, you immediately said we choose our destiny.
You've done the best so far.
Oh, damn. Okay. All right.
The next part is I'll recite a quote from a movie. You tell me the movie and who said it. First one is, you'll find one in every car. You'll see.
Oh, the movie is Repo Man.
Do you know the actor?
Oh, shit. I do. I can't remember the guy's name, though.
His name's Tracy Walter, but we'll give you that one because you immediately got Repo Man.
Okay.
Awesome.
Sure.
In your face, Gene.
The two-part. There's two of these. And so far, you've done the best of anybody, for the movie and the actor. The quote is, Nash, I don't think you could pick your nose without written instructions. Nash, I don't think you could pick your nose without written instructions.
Full Metal Jacket.
No, because the movie was Black Christmas and the actor was John Saxon.
Oh!
Great John Saxon story that Jimmy and I were around for here in Nashville, probably 2005.
Nashville Horror and Tattoo Convention or something like that?
Day before Splats.
Yes, it was. John Saxon had a table. I remember I was just kind of like walking around. There's some lady there who came up to him and she was just like, oh, you were really great in that movie Red Dawn as a pilot who got shot down and helped the kids. He must have heard that like this, like stuff like this, because he just goes, "That was Powers Booth."
Powers Booth.
I just like walked away. Yeah.
Hey, at least he didn't get mistaken for Anson Williams. Ma'am, I'm not Potsy.
But you know, you got to figure that must have happened to him. Just his reaction. He goes, he probably heard that thing 100 times that weekend of like the Powers Booth, John Saxon confusion.
There was a look of a little bit of anger on his face.
Oh yeah, all jokes aside, the guy was in so much stuff.
Rest in peace, John Saxon.
That's right.
Rest in peace, sir.
Okay, what is the first movie you ever owned and what format was it in?
When we first got our VHS player, my mom gave me a copy. So technically the first movie that was mine, that my mom bought for me, thinking was, oh, I got you The Breakfast Club to watch on our new VHS. So yeah.
What was the last movie you saw in a theater?
Oh, I know what it was. And it was probably like last year, I saw Easy Rider 50th anniversary.
Nice.
Those damn hippies.
That's right.
Great soundtrack too, right?
True or false? They say that the road is no place to start a family.
Well, depends on your line of work.
Well, since Steve Perry said it, it is in fact true.
I hear something in the back here. I don't know where he gets that from. I really don't. He just turned 7.
Me too.
All right, well, I have a question that was given by McNasty. He wants to know Jimmy Psycho's 3 desert island records are.
Okay, I do this in my head sometimes. And here's my 3 records would be Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street, The Clash, London Calling, and then the third one would probably be Willie Nelson's Red-Headed Stranger.
Awesome. I wouldn't have guessed any of those.
No?
All great records, though.
After Gino, whose guitar style do you rip off the most?
Oh, man. I don't know. I think like Poison Ivy, The Cramps really had a big influence on stuff I was writing for Psycho Charger. I think like those like 1-4-5 riffs, stuff like that really was a big influence on me.
Yeah, that's what I would have guessed.
I heard that she was using a lot of time and resources to contact Lux in the beyond, like seance stuff.
Well, who wouldn't want to contact Lux? All right, so I have a little bit of a game that I put together. It's basically a 3-part game. So this is a game we're going to do every week. This is the What Celebrity Would You Do? But before you give us your answer, we're going to go around the room and guess as to who that might be. If one of us nails it, that's some points for us. The question is, what celebrity would you most like to do James Hansen as to who you think Jimmy will pick?
And by do, you mean...
Fornicate, yes.
Yeah. Living or dead?
Anybody.
Maybe Van Doren, obviously. Come on.
Maybe Van Doren, that's a good pick. What do you got, Joe?
He looks like a man who would appreciate experience, so I'm going to pick Jessica Tandy.
Jessica Tandy. I have a feeling that's going to be a trend with Joe. Yeah, I'm going with Cassandra Peterson in her early 80s era.
Oh, that's definitely up there, Gene. Definitely up there.
Who would you pick?
Satanica Pandemonium, Dusk Till Dawn.
Nice.
I would have never guessed that.
That was going to be my next guess.
Of the 3 that we picked, who would you like the most?
Oh, definitely Cassandra Peterson.
All
And
right.
if she's watching, I apologize.
We did an interview with her last week, and she said Jimmy Psycho.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Damn, all right.
There you go. Hey, we're a matchmaker now.
And I have seen pictures of Jimmy hanging out with Cassandra Peterson. Number 2 of 3. Same thing. What celebrity would you like to beat up?
Oh.
We're going to go around the room.
I think it's pretty obvious. We all want to beat up Johnny Depp at this point, right?
Yeah, who you
All right,
got?
maybe, hold on, let me change. I want to change it to Elon Musk.
I'm going to go with Jessica Tandy again.
Jessica.
First, he's going to beat her up, then he's going to do her.
Oh, well, I was going to say Corey Feldman. Jimmy can give us the official answer.
I would say Elon Musk is up there.
Bullseye. That's a bullseye.
Yeah.
Handsome Jimmy gets a bullseye.
Tell him what he wins, fuckhead.
Oh, by the way, anybody that's watching and hears all the cursing and sees my son, he can't hear any of that.
Okay, good.
Okay, the third and final question. This one's a little bit different. This one, Jimmy Psycho gets to participate in the other side of this. The question is, what was Jimmy Hansen doing last week instead of attending the freaking? What do you got, Joe?
Devising his plan to take over the world.
I think he was practicing the bass line to Rush's Red Barchetta.
I think he was taking photographs of frittata.
You really want me to go into that?
Oh boy, here we go.
Last Friday, I was just here with my teenager because we were the only 2 in the house, so I was just keeping him busy.
All right, I'm going to need a flow chart or an organization chart.
Yes, he was like, which one is Gino?
Celebrity amongst the kids. Now, do we have a Jimmy's Cruddy cuisine?
Ironically, yes. We have a garden this year. Today I pulled an eggplant off the garden and I made eggplant parmesan tonight. It was amazing. And I had like 4 pounds of tomatoes. So I made my own sauce, fried the eggplant. It was delicious. The fresher eggplant is way more dense. So I had to dredge it twice, coat it in breadcrumb. So I did the flour and the egg dredge twice, and then I put it in the breadcrumb. And then I fried it in canola oil. It was so good. Bread, garlic salt, pepper, paprika. I have made it. I usually make it from old crusty loaves of bread that I make with my own damn hands. Tonight I didn't have enough, so I had to use store-bought. My kids don't even like the food. It's like watching a fucking Food Network show when I feed these people.
All right, so this week we have Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde, and then we're following that up with
Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill.
Oh, yeah, good one.
What do you think of those movies, Jimmy?
I think Sugar Hill is awesome. I think I saw a preview for it, like, as a kid. CBS Friday night movie, and just the preview itself terrified me so bad, I ran to my room.
The zombies that are in that, when they come out, they're all covered in webs.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde, on the other hand, has honor of having the greatest movie trailer of all times. It's got Rudy Ray Moore does the bits.
Can you name one remake that's better than the original?
That's a good question. Like, Universal's Frankenstein is great, but like those Frankenstein movies that Hammer did were great. Would you consider those a remake?
Technically, it is a remake, and I agree the Hammer versions are superior.
Yeah, that'd be my answer to that question.
Only to be later surpassed by the movie with Hugh Jackman in it.
Life's too short, man.
I'll pop into the horror groups or whatever, and there'll always be somebody talking about who's the coolest werewolf, and then somebody will inevitably say those cartoon werewolves from Van Helsing, which are the dumbest fucking thing.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on in the world of Jimmy Psycho that you want to promote?
Well, I guess technically the Sithfits CD did come out during the pandemic, right? So that thing still got a little charge going to it. You know, Dr. Demento, that was like a childhood dream of mine when he played the song on there. It moved up to number 4. So if I never play a single show or note again, that I'm fulfilled. And then I'm always working on like new stuff for the Jimmy Psycho experiment, because that's just kind of like me doing stuff. But yeah, if anybody wants to be in the Sithfits video, just look us up.
Well, first and foremost, I wanted to thank Jimmy Psycho for taking the time to drop in with us. And I'd also like to thank Tribu, who is also very cool.
Tribu has left the building. Thanks for having me, man. I mean, there's a lot of people you guys could be talking to, but I always appreciate, talking to old friends. So it's really good catching up like this, too.
We got to say hi to Boomer first.
Boomer!
Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it.
Well, that'll be it for this evening. I wanted to thank you, and for the Get Along gang, Gene Coffinberry and handsome Jimmy Hansen and Mr. Furley, who already stepped out. I am Cruddy Joe saying, see you later, weirdos. G's up and hose down while you motherfuckers bounce to this.
The pandemic is a lonely world.